All right, so we can praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Pick it up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me, and you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not in writings, how should you believe my words? Psalm 69. Says, save me, O Elohim, for the waters are coming to my soul. Waters. What does waters mean? What do the waters represent? People. People. How can we prove that? Let's look at Revelation chapter 17. Shalom, man. Sir, sit up properly like a man should. You can pick it up at 17 and 15. I ain't finna read all that before in front of that. And it says, and he said unto me, the waters which you saw where the horse sit are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. So he said the waters have come upon him. This references us back to what? Psalms 2. Do you remember what it says in Psalms 2 in this regard? Let's take a look. Just real briefly, and we'll move right on along and move at a good, rapid little pace. Oh, you got a problem? You upset? You angry? You want something you want to get off your chest? Oh. Psalms 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth have set themselves, and their rulers take counsel together against Yahuwah and against his anointed, saying. So let's return back to 1 Samuel 18, something that we started and have not completed, because we're dealing with somebody bringing peoples against a particular man, that man being David. I need to remember where we stopped at. I need to put this phone on low mode. This nigga charge when he wants. And we still want to move in and network in this conversation about Kadashis becomes his house. What was that we read? Do y'all remember this Proverbs 27 and 24 from last evening? That means if you don't, that means you can find it. I'm sorry. 27, 24.
For riches are not forever. You do the crown endure to every generation.
So what is important about that verse that we discussed last night? Y'all looking up like y'all don't know what's going on. You said a song?
Proverbs 27, 24.
Yeah, that crown translates to Netzer or Nazarite, crown of separation, consecration. Stop at 1 Samuel 18. Now, why is that important? With Yahuwah anointing David in 1 Samuel 16, can we say that David was consecrated or a crown was put upon his head? Now, David wasn't a Nazarite, but he was separated. Remember, it is pleasant to Yahuwah that his house is consecrated. It is pleasant to Yahuwah that a man's, you know what, pause. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. Sorry, what are you doing? Put that up. Sit down. First Corinthians chapter 3. You can pick it up at about verse 14. Well, you phony boy.
Go sit by your mama. Let your brother come sit right here.
Come on, throw this away. First Corinthians chapter 3, verse 14. If any man work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so is by fire. Know you not that you are the temple of Elohim, and that the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you? If any man defile the temple of Elohim, him shall Elohim destroy, for the temple of Elohim is Kadash, which temple you are. Shade, what does that mean when he say if you defile the temple of Elohim? Do you know what that means? I'm not going to tell you, so you're going to have to profit me something. Are you telling me that or are you asking me that? It can't be both, baby. It's either got to be a declaration or a query. That's what you're going to go with? Michael, what does that mean?
Card.
Disrespect. What are you talking about? You think of who?
The body.
So I know that's what it said. It said, if any man defile the temple of Elohim, him shall Elohim destroy. He just said, no, you not. You are the temple of Elohim. So what does that mean if you defile the temple? What does that even mean? I know what people say. Disrespect him how? Disrespect yourself how? This is how you niggas graduated from school? Sin? Okay. I'll give you that. You kept it generic. But the previous junk, y'all niggas skated by and got through college and high school with that? That's unfortunate. Your professors and teachers were horrible. There's absolutely no way any of you would have graduated any class I would have been instructed with that. Who? You won't lie and say, I didn't have you prepared. I disrespect myself. How did you I mean, you know why that's important? Because that means if you were ever challenged on the subject matter, you would not be able to properly explain it. And if you can't properly explain the subject matter, that means you don't know it. And if you don't know it, then how could you effectively put it into practice? That means you were just there. Just there, just enough. See, this ain't no class where you can just go by and get a grade and pass. If you don't know it, that means when you're faced with temptation, you can't do it, which means you're going to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be asking, them generic answers don't do nothing for you. He's like, yeah, I answered the question. But then when you get out of here and take the test, you're going to fail. Because you actually don't know it. Yeah, you like to actually know it when you actually, because this ain't like this. Like I said, it's not a. See, this is the shalom, man. This is the detriment of the American westernized educational system. They trained you to memorize information for the purpose of reciting it. So that means you don't know it with the purpose of applying it. That's why when they tell you that women are the most educated, that's just a bunch of poppycock, as old white people say, because you can recite back information. Y'all don't know how to take information and apply it for something constructive to build it. Because men don't go to school just for the sake of saying, I learned something. Look at my degree. I learned this. They learn things so they can actually take it and use it. And use it for something that's not just going to benefit themselves, but other people. Y'all go to school and go get a job to be a massage therapist. And then brag about it. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about that earlier. We were talking about this earlier before some of y'all got here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just going to say it because that nigga's funny to me. But do y'all know what ugly bumhole activities are? Do you know stuff that, what he's talking about is there are things that pretty women don't do. That only ugly bumholes do. And you got pretty women doing ugly bumhole activities. Huh? Twerking? Twerking is freak hole activity. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Neck up pictures is an ugly hole activity. You know what I'm talking about? Taking pictures from the neck up. Those are one of the things he said, ugly hole activities, fighting. Pretty women don't fight. You know what I'm saying? Women who know they pretty, know they beautiful, they ain't got no time. You ain't finna scratch my face up. I'm too pretty for all that. I'm dainty. Ain't got time for that. We were talking about earlier, with like seeing a lot of women truck drivers. You ain't gonna see no beautiful woman be no truck driver. Cause she gotta sit in the truck for 12 hours, let that coochie stew. She ain't with it. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, no, and I'm just trying to recall all the things that he mentioned. No. He talking about ugly. He's talking about activities that you lead to the women who can't get no man because they ugly or they bums. You know what I'm saying? You think you'll see Halle Berry out here in a fist fight in her youth? No, she's not getting no fist fight. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was one of them smoking cigarettes. That nigga say drinking brown liquor. That nigga say bumhoes drink brown liquor. That nigga say pretty chicks drink white liquor and wine. I said, what I would do. You know what I'm saying? But they say all that hollering and screaming. Pretty women don't do that. They don't have to. Who doing all that? Yeah. Oh, that's her regular. No, that don't do funny. Huh? That's ugly hoe activity. Catfish. Do you know what I'm saying? Huh? Any of y'all used to like to drink brown liquor? You too young to be buying liquor. You done drunk some liquor in your day, ain't you though? So you ain't never taste none of the devil's juice? Good for you. But you done had some of the devil's lettuce. You ain't never watched The Simpsons. You ain't never watched The Simpsons. That's marijuana. You ain't never heard Ned Flanders say you around there smoking the devil's lettuce. That junk's funny. But see, the thing is I only mention that there because there's certain activities that certain people get. If you have certain things in your life, you're not going to participate in. I'm mentioning that because if you are a godly person, then you have to lead them sinner activities. You know what I'm saying? See, some of y'all niggas grew up in the hood, be like, I was fighting all the time. But guess what? Y'all knew the extra pretty chicks and extra feminine chicks in y'all neighborhood didn't. Well, you in Kid Night, wasn't no feminine chicks. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what his point was. That's a waste of a hoe. That's what he said. He used another word. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, see, you talking about that's the thing. Pretty chicks don't even get in no positions for nobody to be trying them. They too pretty for that. That happens. But what he talking about is chicks who are aggressors and do that. That's a waste of a chick. You know what I'm saying? You as a man, he talking about from a man's perspective. If a man walk by, see old beautiful woman, she out here thumping and dumping, I think that's a waste of a chick. Loud, cussing, getting drunk. Like you said, you around here sipping Remy Martin and Hennessy. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga like this here, use a bust down. Nobody want that. You know what I'm saying? That's what he talking about from a man's perspective. It's different. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you ain't gonna see no. Well, I used to feel like that when I was a kid. You turn around, you see an old pretty chick, and she smell like Newports, and she go on her perk and pull one out and light it. You disgusted. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? So like I said, both of us can't be smelling like an ashtray. Look at this pretty. That's a waste of a chick. I knew a couple chicks real pretty, smoke rocks. You like, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, man, smoking rocks. He also mentioned, of course, being extremely promiscuous. Like I told you last night, why would you want to let multiple men in your vagina? Niggas say that, he say, you pervert! Oh, that nigga fool. Let me move on, man. I feel you, man. But yes, defiling the temple is sin. But anybody recall where Paul is getting this from? That the temple of Elohim is Kadash, and that he will destroy the temple if it is not Kadash. There is a scriptural reference. We have talked about it in the last 3 months.
If you gotta go to the potty, go.
Does anyone recall? Because we're talking about it becometh his house to be set apart. It is pleasant that the house of Elohim is separated. David was separated from Saul. He had to be separated from Saul. There had to be a difference between that which is Kadash and that which is not. And that's all that I mentioned that stuff about. He talking about the ugly chick activities. Because what he was talking about there has to be a difference, a separation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All women are not the same. You know what I'm saying? Just like all men are not the same. And when we talking about not the same, meaning feminine men or effeminate men are not going to do the same things that masculine men do. You're not gonna do it. Like I said, y'all really think a really, really pretty chick gonna be riding in a semi truck from Florida to Los Angeles, sleeping in the back, coochie stewing? No, she too cute for that. We didn't say not to say they weren't lady truckers. We talking about extremely beautiful women being lady truckers. Very, very pretty women being lady truckers. Absolutely not. Because she got to be dainty and lay up in the bed, and you know what I'm talking about? And she got to make sure her genitals are fresh and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? She got to drop a trailer, sleep in the back of the truck. She ain't got time for all that. Got to bathe at a truck stop. Come on, man. At a truck stop. She got to bring a towel and go wash up and take a semi-hoe bath at the truck stop. You got to be a special type of woman to go bathe at a gas station. And you think a pretty chick finna go bathe at a gas station? We could call it a truck stop, but at the end of the day, it's an extended gas station. You at Love's washing your twat. You done pulled up at Buccaneers. Got to go around here and wash up under your titties. You ain't trying to do all that. You're like, I'm too pretty for this. I'm going home. You ain't doing all that. I'm trying to buy y'all time to figure out what that was that I'm referring to in 1 Corinthians. Y'all ain't figured it out.
Is it Isaiah 59?
What you say? 3 and 17 and what? Oh, you failed miserably. No, it ain't in the law.
I ain't getting the question.
Isaiah 59.
I ain't Isaiah 59. I'm talking about what he say, if a man defiles the temple of Elohim, him shall Elohim destroy, for the temple of Elohim is Kadash. And there is a scriptural reference to him stating of him destroying the temple if you defile it. Can't be in the law because there wasn't no temple in the law. You just had a tabernacle of witness, the mobile. Don't nobody know? What? 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 I'm gonna give them a second to open that door and not let these people stir before I answer this question. I thought y'all would remember this one here. Jeremiah, no sir. Come on around here to 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 11.
Sit.
Abigail. Hey, little muffin.
2 Chronicles 11.
Yes, 2 Chronicles chapter 7 verse 11. Hey, little muffin. Doggone. That muffin there say, I'm medium muffin. I say, boy, I need that crazy. Say Kiana big muffin, you need a little muffin. So she said, I got to be medium muffin. Second Chronicles chapter 7 and verse 11. Thus Solomon finished the house of Yahuwah and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of Yahuwah and in his own house, and he prosperously affected. I want to take a pause for the cause. How can you explain that Solomon finished the house of Yahuwah and the king's house? How can you explain that? Are you able to explain that? Is it even explainable? Well, you said you let that out like you had a long day and you just took your bra off.
You said how he built Yahuwah's house
And the king's house. That's what it said. I want y'all to know the word is salak. That is to advance, prosper, to be profitable, to show experience or prosperity or prosper, for prosperously affected. It is Sod, Lamad, and Kad. The shepherd way separates. But it says that he finished the king's house, the house of Yahuwah and the king's house. Yes, sir, Saran, but I need details. I need details. I need if anybody can give me a detail. Now, of course, you know, kala is the word for finish, that is accomplished, and to cease. That is kaf, lamad, and hey. So behold, the shepherd has been subdued. Let's take a look. Pause for the cause. John chapter 19. Little Muffin, you over there hanging out? John chapter 19, verse 28. Your father's house has many mansions. I see why you would say that, but that's not what we angling for here. Maybe this information right here in John 19 and 28 will help you out. After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, say, if I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled the sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished, and he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. So at this point, he has accomplished and he has ceased. Remember, it was colossal. It's kaf, lamad, and hey, behold, the shepherd has been subdued. You have beheld the shepherd being subdued. So how did he finish Yahuwah's house and the king's house simultaneously, as we're seeing here in 2 Chronicles chapter 7? Muffin Man.
Hey, just wait.
Hey, Pot. How you doing?
Wait.
Are you well?
At that time, so what he said in John 2 about his house.
In what regard?
That would be the king's house.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Saran stated. That the king's house is Yahusha, and the house of Elohim, he put on there. What did he say? Where did he go? A house for Elohim and Yahusha, but it's a little different. I need y'all to focus. He said that he has accomplished and finished building the house of Yahuwah and the king's house. What is the house of Yahuwah? You actually already have read this information about 5 minutes ago on who the house of Yahuwah is. That would be his body. So that is the people. The king's house is the Lord himself. He built both houses simultaneously through his resurrection. Remember, it tells you in Hebrews 8 that it's the temple made not without hands. So you have to realize something. He built the king's house. Well, let's look at that. Amos 9 to help you out. What you referenced in the John. No, this is a little different because he's talking about a literal king built a literal house. Solomon did in Chronicles, which we're not reading about. And of course, you know he built the temple. As a matter of fact, when I was in front of the Arab dude thought this was a mosque. I said, I don't know why you thought that, but I can understand. You see a big dome here, you know. And what's that thing that's still over there? Oh, the dome and the rock. That's where the Arabs like to go. You know what I'm saying? Say that's their temple. Everybody like to fight over Jerusalem. I seen a couple people that talking about we need to start uniting in love instead of uniting in religion. I just find that hilarious. The reason why I find it hilarious is don't say that you were uniting in religion. Say you mad that people believe the word because you don't care about no Muslims. You don't care about no Hindus. You don't care about no Confucius people. They don't even care about Satanists. They only got a problem with Yahuwah. And I would rather they just come out and say that. So, you mentioned that whenever, right? Yahusha has a house, and it's a separate house from Yahuwah's house, meaning that he has a body, and then he has the house that he made or that he rose from the dead. Let's read this again. It's 2 Chronicles 7 and 11. Thus Solomon finished the house of Yahuwah and the king's house. All that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of Yahuwah and in his own house, he properly effected. Well, let's look at how he made this in his own house and in Yahuwah's house, and everything that was placed in that house was able to prosper. John chapter 14. John 14 and 11. Believe me that I am an Abba and Abba in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believe on me and the works that I do shall he do also. Greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Abba. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that Abba may be esteemed in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. Oh, no doubt. I feel you on that. He said he's going to watch tomorrow's war with his kids so they can see the games that they play. Because they definitely said they have a Sabbath. But I was a parent, they were fighting. So I just said that's the same thing you see in an independent. Every movie where they fighting some space aliens and all that there, they fighting the Lord. And they want to condition your mind to go along with that aspect. I heard that name BOA say something. That nigga had me tripping. I didn't say he don't even like watching movies other than comedies. He said he has no desire to watch anything that has the intent of soliciting any type of emotion. You know what I'm saying? But I understood his point. He didn't necessarily articulate it in a way where everybody would get what he was talking about. But the movies and the films are used to manipulate the emotions of men. Then if you become emotional in that fashion, you begin to look at situations and circumstances from an emotional vantage point. Then when you can effectively execute as a man because you've been conditioned to be stimulated by emotion. So you see things and you operate emotionally. You know what I'm saying? And you can't make the separation. Because I've told y'all this before, we definitely do not give enough credit to the fact of how people's emotions, thoughts, perspectives have been influenced through television, music, and movies. You know what I'm saying? The massive amount of people's worldview has been shaped through the consumption of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And that can't be negated. There's a lot of people who lived in a fantasy world probably in their brain for the first 20 to 23 years of their existence before they got out here and seen that life was not like anything in the movies. You got women right now who are still holding out for a love that they seen in a movie. Matter of fact, we were talking about that in Love and Basketball. If you separate the emotion from the movie and look at it, not if that was a horrible film, that was a horrible man. And that was a stupid woman. And that if you knew them people personally, you would have told them that. You're going to play a nigga for his heart? Who's going to sit back and think that that's real life? What self-respecting man would even agree to that? Sure, let's play basketball, and if I lose, we get married. You know what I'm saying? And people think that's just a love story, it's so sweet. No, that's pure buffoonery. That doesn't happen in real life. That doesn't happen. Niggas looking at Love Jones, you want to recreate that. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling you that. They got all them rom-coms, all that type of stuff. The purpose is to influence the brain. They do the boys differently because, boys like to see stuff explode. So they want you to teach you to be a simplistic macho man who comes through and beats people up and saves a whore. Because in all those movies, a lot of them women be nothing but whores. Not whores because she sleep around, but rebellious, masculine, stubborn women. And this man puts his life on the line to save this type of woman, and it teaches men to do the same. That's why they were something. We need wholesome TV. Give us Bill Cosby back. They gotta say, they tell you we need black shows like Living Single. 3 women who are whores. When you strip that away, talking about they copied Friends. So all we happy about is having a show of women who are whores. And some simp niggas. And I'm supposed to be excited for this. We're supposed to get excited for more. And yeah, it was funny. But when you strip it away and look at what type of dudes these were, these are not anything to even model or emulate or even desire for your offspring to see. Shoot, when you sit back and you get grown and you think back to all the R&B music, all that junk was thinking about bring back 90s R&B. So you want a nigga to be simp. You know what I'm saying? You want a nigga around here begging in the sand with boots on. Talking about it's been an hour since you've been gone. Huh? All of it, all the women on the whores, harlots.
Living Single same way. Big Butch, Queen Latifah.
I'm talking about Queen Latifah always look good. I knocked that down. Queen Latifah couldn't give me money to touch that coochie. I don't want that coochie. Nigga on my page, I don't want that coochie, man. Somebody told me her hair ain't never out of place. Just the fact that a grown man said a woman's hair ain't never out of place, this nigga got. As a man who talk like that. Her hair ain't never out of place, girl. Get your sweet behind out of here, boy. You grown rusty nigga, you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's not to disparage any of those people, but I'm talking about, but do you see the conditioning? You grew up with that, watching it, looking forward to it. You begin to take on these ideologies and thoughts unknowingly. You know what I'm saying? It does its job. It's called programming, and it works well. You know what I'm saying? I told you, I seen it. About 1997, niggas was no limit soldiers. By 1999, they were Reeboks and like this here in Jabos, nigga. Cash Money Millionaire. I watched it. I said, boy, these niggas wild, boy. That's why they can roll Juvenile out there and told you to vax that thing up. And you gonna go get the shot. Nigga, I don't even know why they rolled that out there. That song ain't even gonna. Yes, he did. You ain't see the clip? Yeah, that nigga say, huh? That nigga say, you a fine little something, won't you vax that thing up? With Betty Fresh in it.
I ain't see that, bro.
That nigga say, oh, you can't stand it.
That boy might be a big bro.
That nigga say, you a handsome young brother. Won't you vax that thing up? That nigga Betty Fresh said we could go on a date, but you got to get that shot.
Yeah.
Look here, right? You know the sad part is, y'all be thinking niggas broke because they do that junk. And that don't even be the case. Nigga, Mr. Charlie said move, and then them niggas say I'll groove. Nigga, once they sign that record deal, that junk ain't got nothing to do with them niggas being broke. Them niggas got to do what they told when they told. Nigga, them niggas don't even own the publishing rights to that music. So that means somebody had to sign. Them niggas ain't calling Juvie and asking that nigga to do that. Nigga, they calling the nigga who owned the record.
They make the record and they tell that nigga.
And they tell that nigga go perform it. Juvie don't own that record. Manny Fresh don't own that record. You know who own that record? Slim and Baby. And if it ain't Slim or Baby, it's Interscope Records, whoever they sold it to. The boys don't own no publishing rights. Nigga, that nigga Juvie can't go that nigga Juvie can't sign off on a commercial right now and for that song to be played and he get paid. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga, whoever owned that record can play that song anywhere, anytime, and Juvie ain't gonna get a Russian nickel. Woo! He is working at 95. That nigga making 60 G's. Shoot, nigga. It's some general managers at McDonald's make that. But it's not the fact that he making 60 G's. You making 60 G's and he making 30 M's. That nigga give you a cash money chain and a few hoes, you happy. But again, though, that go into the programming. Niggas watch them music videos, the movie they put out there. You don't even care to know business. You looking for a lifestyle. Then you get the lifestyle and you figure out, oh, my business ain't right. It's too late.
Be educated before you start.
And how do you expect a young boy 17, 18, 19 years old to be educated on the music business? They banking on that. They banking on that. You want it like this here, right? No matter how wicked you might think that nigga do business. Only reason why Jay-Z them was even able to get to the point where they at now, them niggas was almost 30. You know what I'm saying? When that nigga first album came out, he was 26 years old. Man, Dame and Biggs, them niggas was almost 30. So that means them niggas had enough time to figure out what to do and what not to do and not get screwed like the average 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old dude gets screwed. Because these were grown men. These weren't little boys.
Even Master P was old.
Yeah, that nigga P was almost 30. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. Like I said, though, man, you around here want to live a movie. You know what don't make it no better? Seeing people like, say, a DC Young Fly and all them be social media making videos, and then now you see them, they got their own stuff going on, and you be thinking that junk sweet, and then dudes find out that junk ain't sweet. Because this stuff come along with that bread, man. You're going to have to disrespect yourself, and not necessarily in a sodomite way. You're going to have to disrespect yourself that you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do because you're contractually obligated to do it. See, that's different now. See, this is the thing. You ain't got to keep your contractual obligations with Yahuwah. Mr. Charlie, you going to keep him or he going to break it. You know what I'm talking about? See, Yahuwah ain't going to come through and break it. He might tap you upside your head. He might let you continue in your filing. Mr. Charlie going to make sure you can't make a dime and that nobody else going to make one with you. And they get you out the league. You see, they almost did it with Melo. Almost ran him up out the league. That means he had pissed somebody off. He ran a foul of somebody who said, we'll get you right. Get you up out the league. Craig Hodges came around there with a dashiki on talking about, here's a letter for George Bush. And Craig Hodges was never heard from again. They get you out the league real quick. Le'Veon Bell say, I want to sit out. Next thing you know, your career over. He might can't play no more, but it don't make a difference. You pissed off the wrong people. The people get you out the league. This is the thing where dude don't realize, man. The people don't care nothing about you because they league bigger than you. See, if you had something that was going on decades before somebody was born, that means the league bigger than you and not one person can control and dictate it and bring it down. They can get rid of you and have somebody take your place. Yeah, I could probably make a couple $100 more million with you than I could with this person, but you can go. They did it with Jordan for years. They had a whole bunch of nigga churn wanting to be basketball players. Niggas killing for sneakers and jackets with this nigga emblem on it that he don't even own. That nigga Michael Jordan can leave Nike Inc. right now, can't take nail shoe with him. Can't take nail shoe with him. Can't take the logo, can't take the shoe. Shoot, nigga can't even take the Air Jordan name, and Jordan is his name. He can't even take that with him. And guess what? They did LeBron the same way. And they ain't gonna be able to walk on. He can't take that stuff with him. The people own you, boy. So they gonna put all the materials out that Mr. Charlie tell him to put out, and he gonna do it with a smile. And the whole time you getting mentally conditioned to hate your God. I guarantee you, I bet you that doggone what that movie called? I bet you that Space Jam 2 probably got all manner of blasphemy loaded all up all in the back scenes and this, that, there, and the third through it. The first one did too. You know, but we were too young to be able to discriminate what was going on. But it'd probably be more blatant on the second.
Yeah, I watched the other one yesterday.
Oh, it's all through that. It's all through that. The disrespect.
But it was to me, it was like a subliminal message though too, like showing really how they got them boys
Control.
Yeah.
That is.
That's what I'm talking about.
They
They
control.
really just showing like aliens, like really was showing like these niggas really are slaves.
They do what we say, when I say, how I say, whenever I say. Straight up and down. Man, you think Mick Jagger want to do shows because he want to do shows? This cracker on life support. Him and Keith Richards, old it does. Been on heroin for 60 years. And they still out here doing shows with tight leather pants on and rhinestones. This nigga's in his 80s. Mary J. Come on, man. Mary J been out since 1991. You think that hoe still want to be talking about some party in the dance room? That hoe tired. Her feet hurt.
It's all gone. Yes, sir.
Come on back to 2 Chronicles 7. She got to, nigga. She dumb. They own her. You know what I'm saying? She done let poor niggas bust up her back, and guess what done happened? She alone with no churn, looking stupid. See, Mary J is the embodiment of the modern, I'm strong, independent, I wish I had a man to love me woman. Because now she's sitting out here 50 years old, wall done hit, nigga still capping my Mary J bad. No, she ain't. It's over. Why ain't nobody around here thinking about I sure want some 52-year-old Mary J vagina? Don't nobody want that vagina. Don't nobody want it. Not long term. Nigga just want to be able to say they slept with Mary J. Blige. That junk don't do you no good. You should have wanted to say that back in 93. It's 2021. That junk ain't hitting on nothing. It's like, no. Nigga, why would you want a nigga? She give her vagina away to niggas who use cocaine and sweat all the time. This woman was in a relationship with a full-fledged junkie for years. Not this nigga was a junkie before I met him and he cleaned up, or became a junkie after we separated. You met him as a junkie and said, I want him.
She's a junkie too.
Yeah, she was with KC.
I definitely thought Mary J was from White Lines myself.
I don't know. Mary J ain't never been accused of being no junkie.
She just ain't hit the string.
I ain't gonna say junkie, but she look like she might mess with that clean. She look like she might clean up well.
It helps me sing better.
He was on cocaine. Everybody know that boy's on cocaine.
Nigga was singing on that coke though. Everybody was on that.
Cocaine.
Names a lot of niggas, man.
But that's the 90s. This ain't.
I'm just saying it's not a new thing. It carries on. They learn from their idols, brother.
No, you know why the people on cocaine. Move on. The people on drugs, but the people got to see play with the devil.
You don't think Casey was listening to Rick James and them all the niggas singing? That's where they got it from.
No, that nigga probably was on drugs before he even got famous.
I know he ain't just start singing. That nigga been singing.
Yeah, but that just don't matter when you're singing in the streets of your city. That nigga been on that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. You get high on singing, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But they know
get signed, still get high and sing. What I'm saying.
so because all them boys in the music business don't be on drugs like that. That's it. I can buy more coke. See, that nigga used to be like, boy, I can buy a dime of coke. Now the nigga like, I can get 2 ounces of coke.
I get a kilo.
You know what I'm saying? Used to be like this here. Now I can be, woo!
I thought most of them boys when they got signed, they got
You know what I'm saying? Like this here.
That nigga has knit his glasses on.
You know that I see that meaning to my daddy like this put some white stuff on the table and sniff and say, woo! See, before that nigga like this here, that nigga's a danger. Because he ain't got no money. You know what I'm talking about? You get some money, you can, woo! What is it? No, all the boy don't be on that coke. Come on back to 2 Chronicles 7. All the boy don't be on drugs, man.
just looking at like Five Heartbeat story, Temptation story.
But Five Heartbeat wasn't real.
I'm just saying it was inspired off what what
was
going on.
It was inspired by, but I mean, it be the niggas who get all the hoes that be on the drugs.
Eddie Kane?
But see, that's why they get on the drugs, because they trying to get the hoes. See, the niggas who don't have the hoes, they don't be on the drugs.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Oh, no, because I'm telling you, man, from my experience in selling drugs, man, most of all of them say they got on dope for either trying to avoid reality or get some coochie. It's a lot of men who became drug addicts and alcoholics trying to get coochie.
He's saying if a nigga ain't pressed about no hoes, he probably messing with drugs.
Nah.
Which I can agree with that.
Right, come on. Verse 12. Dumb nigga.
Nah, I can see where you're going.
2 Chronicles 7:12. So we're looking at this here, right? When you look at it, it is finished, right? Y'all remember that from the beginning? You know what I'm talking about? From the beginning, like the beginning of the book, when he finished the world, he said it's finished. In Genesis chapter 2, baby. You know what I said? And he said it's finished. You know that? Or you just telling me that? When you read it? I believe you because your eyes wanted to tell me this, so I believe you. You weren't lying. You didn't go to the creative side of your brain. You looking at me, oh, yo, you're not aware of that small trick? There's probably many people that sat and looked you dead in the face and lied to you. No, you have when people talk, if they're trying to recall information, you have, if their eyes go in a particular direction, there's creative side upwards, not side to side. And then you have the part of the brain that recalls remembrance. Those are just small body language cues for you to tell somebody lying to you. If it goes to the, if my memory serves me correct, if it goes to the left, you're telling the truth. Go to the right, you're lying.
What if they close their eyes?
That's definitely.
That's when it gets tricky.
What if they close their eyes, brother?
It gets tricky.
I'm trying to remember.
Maybe the full one right out of his butt.
2 Chronicles
Get back with you.
7:12. No, I mean the real good liars' eyes don't move. But I mean those are people who are either professional liars and thank you, sir. That's right. Up and left his memory. Professional liars are people who believe their own lies. Because people who believe their own lies, their eyes ain't gonna move. Or they'll go to the right as if, I mean to the left as if they're recalling from memory because they believe their lie. You know what I'm saying?
That nigga just be like. Nigga just be like, bro.
Now you got people who believe their own lies.
Still lying. That's all I'm saying. So however you want to dress it up. Yeah. Shoot you one, however you want to dress it up.
No, I mean that's the worst type of person. You got to feel sad for a nigga who believe their own lies. 2 Chronicles 7:12, right? Say Yahuwah appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I've heard your prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. Now pause. Talk to me about this verse. What can you tell me? Tell me, man.
You will have been on the state, it going dark, and praying the prayer, and what's up, making the sacrifice.
Oh no, not on this one here, my son.
No.
Say, I appeared to Solomon by night. I said unto him, I've heard your prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice.
That's what
I got you now, boy.
that's fine.
I got you now, boy. Anybody? Well, that boy sipping on that like that's a real bottle of moonshine, boy. That's the stuff Deidre be having in the back at a people house in Georgia. You know they got it. You been back there with them on that shine. You been had you some moonshine. I know you have. That joint look like that joint nasty. Is white lightning? Yeah, this the Lamb of Elohim. This my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Anybody else? What's on? Let's take a stroll now. First thing first, it said Yahuwah appeared to him by night and said, I heard your prayer. So let's come on around here to Hebrew 5. Remember, right? He said he would give him everything that was in his heart to put in the house of Yahuwah and in his house, correct? Let's walk with it then. Who over there talking? Who over there talking? That baby? That's that baby over there. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 7. Who's in the days of his flesh when he offered up prayers and supplication with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard, and that he feared. And though he was son, yet he learned obedience by the things which he suffered, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all that obey him. So remember, it said he appeared to him by night because he was heard. So when did he resurrect from the dead? Did he resurrect at nighttime, or did he resurrect in the daytime? Remember, what time did it say those people came to that sepulcher?
In the morning.
Early in the morning. I mean, he had to do it at night. So in this instance, looking at the testimony, that means he appeared to Yahusha in the grave in a vision by night. How do we know he appeared to him in a vision by night? Who rolled away the stone? And who usually appeared to anybody in the vision? Okay, let's roll with it some more. So then he said, I've chosen you for a house of sacrifice, right? But let's look at what his prayers and supplication was. John 17. Let's look at what he prayed for. That's the first thing we need to do.
Hey, stop praying.
Well, he biting on that like, what does this woman have given me? It's disgusting, but I like it. John 17. We pick it up at 20. Neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. See, we're not going to read 6 to 19. Why are we not going to read 6 through 19? He's talking to his apostles. So in that regard, we would be looking at the prayer for his own house. We reading 20 because we're looking at his prayer for Yahuwah's house. Because the disciples are those of his own house. Let's continue. That they all may be one as you are, Abba, in me, and I in you. That they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you have sent me. So what is he praying for? He's praying for what? A one body or one household. A house strictly for Yahuwah. Let's continue some more. The esteem which you gave me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I and them, and you and me, that they may be made perfect in one, that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. Abba, I will that they also, whom you have given me, be with me where I am. So if he's asking for them to be with him where he is, where is he asking for them to be? In the kingdom and the reign of Elohim in Jerusalem. He's asking them to be able to dwell with Elohim as written in Revelation chapter 21. He said that they may behold my esteem, which you have given me, for you have loved me from the foundation of the world. O righteous Abba, the world have not known you, but I have known you, and these have known that you have sent me. I have declared unto them your name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. So if he's declared his name, what has he declared? Yahuwah Elohim, abundant in goodness and truth, mercy, long-suffering, forgiving sin and iniquity. That is what has been accomplished here. It's not the same. Come on back over here. So when we know he chose him as a house of sacrifice, why is that important? Remember to tell you in Romans 12, right, to make your body a what? A living sacrifice. But let's take a look at Sunday forth, his house of sacrifice. Psalm 51 for a brief respite, I believe. No, I don't think that's what I wanted. Psalms 51 ain't what I wanted.
Hey, shit.
Don't worry about Psalm 51. That ain't what I wanted. I want to say about my mommy. Your mommy moved. Oh. Hey, don't come over here with that, cuz. You can go ahead and catch this fade. Ah, that's what it was. I'm thinking about the wrong spot. Jeremiah 33, I believe, what I want. 33 and 11 would be fine for now.
Hey, go put it up. Go put it up. Go put it up. You playing?
Jeremiah 33 and 11. The voice of joy, the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, the voice of them that shall say, Hallelujah of hosts, for Yahuwah is good, his mercy endure forever, and of them that bring the sacrifice of praise into the house of Yahuwah. Now, when we look at Yahushua being a house of sacrifice, this is going to be more detailed, and we're not going to spend that much time on that. How would he be a house of sacrifice according to the word? You're going to have to be very specific. No generalities will be accepted. It's not a difficult question. You're just going to have to think a little bit. Because he said that this place, the place that he's talking about is the temple of Yahuwah. He said he appeared to this man by night. He said, I've accepted your prayers, and I've taken this place, and I have chosen it and sanctified it for a house of sacrifice.
So I thought we just said it. He said one presented by his living sacrifice.
Oh, no.
If his body is temple.
The reason is this one here, you're going to have to pause and you're going to have to think about it.
Ask the question again.
You're going to have to think about it because we talked about this in regards to Ezekiel chapters 40 through 48 with the specific answer that would need to be proffered on this one here. How is Yahushua's body himself, how is he himself a house of sacrifice?
And then in the temple, they're going to be making sacrificial praise.
Now, I just read that one there because he said the sacrifice of praise and bring that into the house of Yahuwah. Now, and put it to you this way, right?
The nations coming and offer sacrifice.
And they do say that, but I'm trying to get my thoughts together. I say this properly. You have sacrifices of righteousness, sacrifice of praise, things that they mention of that nature. But let's put it to you like this here, right? In the book of Hosea, chapter 14, somebody find it. Tell me what you see that would relate to what we're talking about. Hello, Lizzie. How are you? Yeah, let's go through chapter 14. Tell me if you see anything that corresponds to what we're talking about in regards to sacrifice.
Take away all iniquity and receive us graciously.
As we offer what?
As we render the calves of our lips.
Pause. Now he say to render the calves of our lips. What is that, about verse 9?
That's 2.
Verse 2. Now think about this here. Why are the calves important out of that? Take aside the other things, because it said you're offering the calves of your lips. So why are calves important? What do you do with calves in regards to offering up? Because what did the first thing say to do? Verse 1 say to remove our what?
It says remove our iniquity.
To remove our iniquity. Take away all our iniquity. What would you use a calf for? You would use a calf for an actual sacrifice for the purging of iniquity. So when you look at him being that house of sacrifice, every single sacrifice that you could think of that can be offered in the let me put it this way, right? Do you have an act sacrifice for sins of ignorance? But there are no sacrifice for sins willingly. Now, where is the sacrifices out of ignorance located? In Leviticus chapter 5. Were you aware that there are sacrifices that can be offered out of ignorance? Yes, in Leviticus 5. You have to read that on your own time. I don't have time to delve in that. Meaning you didn't know that you were sinning. See, there are no sacrifices for willful sin. That's why he tells you that in Hebrews 10. If we willfully sin after the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sin, but a certain looking, fearful look of dread and the coming of judgment. Now, just because he said there's no sacrifice doesn't mean that there's not any mercy, because David willfully sinned, but he has mercy on whom he will have mercy on. Or like he told you in Isaiah 55, come unto me and I will give you the sure mercies of David. See, a sacrifice and mercy is two different things. Because before a sacrifice was even instituted, Yahuwah had mercy. Yahuwah's mercy is not dictated by a sacrifice. But if you're talking about the purging, so blood got to be shed. You know what I'm talking about? So you have individuals who feel like, you know what? Now, what does that mean, Kalisha, after hearing the knowledge of the truth? What does that mean? Because I'm referring to 2 Peter chapter 2. And also Hebrew chapter 10 is about verse 26 more specifically. He said, if you sin willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth, what does that mean? What you talking about, Sean? Because I didn't catch it when you typed it, so I don't want to get that confused. What does that mean? Do you know what that means? It says after there remains no sacrifice if you sin willfully after the knowledge of the truth. Hold on. You stumped? You need to move on? No. Are you failing the mission? I can't say it no more time, baby. You're going to have to think fast. You clearly ain't picking up what I'm putting down. Come on now. It's other people waiting now.
Okay, you heard the word, but...
Heard what word? What gospel? What gospel is that? Oh, you wasn't ready for that, was you?
I thought you asked another question. You gave me another.
Boy, definitely did.
Just pretty much what I'm saying. When you heard what you should do.
What is it that you should do?
Like the law.
So the gospel is the law?
No. No, it's not. It's not the law. But I'm saying, once you hear what you say to do, the correct thing that you're supposed to do, which is the law, that you break it down, and what else?
Okay. What you said over there, sir? Huh? No, that's not what I'm asking. What does he mean when he said, if you do this willfully after receiving the knowledge of the truth? I reference to 2 Peter because 2 Peter tells it directly what I'm talking about. Now,
Being a mercy, is that the one where it's talking about like brain?
No, that's in Hebrews chapter 6. That's talking about if you need to be baptized again. Now, Saran is giving the answer on the stream. But in 2 Peter chapter 2, he says, if you have escaped the pollution of the world through the knowledge of our Lord and Savior Yahushua HaMashiach and returned back, it was better for you to have never heard it than to hear it. Receiving the knowledge of the truth is receiving the knowledge of the Aman or the faithfulness of Elohim, which is encapsulated in he that is the faithful and true witness of Elohim, which is Yahushua. That's why I asked you, is the gospel the law? Because that's not receiving the knowledge of the truth. You said the gospel. I said which one?
But she said she ain't admit that the law was the gospel. That was
Thank you.
You did.
She did.
No, but I said that's why I asked you that. Because you said the doing right and wrong. That's why I asked you, is the gospel of the law? I was trying to help you out and nudge you to the corner. Yeah, Monte grabbed that.
That was a gift.
So you got his, but you I thought I was supposed to get my 30. You know,
I mean, we got you, man. He wants some coach, man. We will get this nigga some. He wants some coach platinum. We didn't know what to get you, because you know what you didn't see now he want to be. Yeah. Yeah, I just smell good naturally.
I do.
My own pheromones.
I do.
Who was able to confirm that?
My wife.
Are you able to confirm that, Muffin? Does he smell good with no fragrance applied? What does he smell like?
A man.
Skin. So this nigga walk around smelling like Irish Spring.
No, I'm so.
I respect that. I'm glad I put that out there just to see, because I hope ain't none of you grown niggas bathing with no Irish Spring. You know what I'm saying? You ain't in high school no more. Get you some real soap. We ain't talking about hard times. You know, hard times is hard times. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? How you in all black?
Hey, straight up. That wasn't how you in all black.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nigga, you get some.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. You ain't got no business approaching 30 using Irish Spring, dial, none of that. Not as no man.
Sit back.
God, that junk dry your skin out.
That done true though. I be looking for some good soap, boy.
No, you want something that's gonna give you a masculine aroma, something that's gonna take care of your skin. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff when you don't know no better. Mom Deuce buying your Old Spice, you bathing with all that type of stuff. You get older, you realize, see, that's what y'all don't believe. Y'all don't think men like to groom themselves. Nigga don't want no skins feeling like itchy and scratchy. All cracked up, looking crazy. Well, I already know, boy. You use them doggone soaps, man, especially bar soaps, boy. You hoes like this, and now you got to swim in lotion. You know what I'm saying? Junk ain't right. You want to be able to get out of the shower, at least be like, well, you know what? It's hot outside. I ain't got to put no lotion on because this soap I just used has moisturized me. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know it's hot out here. You know if you're going to be outside for an extended period of time, you put some lotion on, nigga, it's finna sweat in your face. It's like you got an extra coat of skin. Shalom, man. I ain't never heard of tactical soap. Any of y'all boys ever heard of tactical soap? That sounds like something the military uses.
Tactical warfare.
No, I said that judge just, I said sounds like. I didn't say it did. They gave it a name, tactical. You know what I'm saying? What was on, man? But no, that's what that is. So that's why if you heard the gospel, that's why you see most people who you know that came around here and heard the gospel and went a different way. That's why their life ain't been good. Not because they came around here and got it from me, but you heard the knowledge of the truth and you went back to your own vomit. That man gonna make sure you die. That means you didn't hear it the first time. You just had, see, he said received.
That means you cashed that check.
You cashed that check.
Mm-hmm. Got that money back and blew it.
No, when he say received, that means, let's look at the Greek word for, not no axe. Well, if a nigga using axe body spray, boy, he punch that nigga in his face. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody over the age of 21 got no business using no axe body spray. I give you 21, this is a grace period. 3 years removed out of high school, you might not know no better. You know what I'm saying? I give you grace. That's all the grace I'm gonna give you to 21. We definitely had to get on brand about that. This nigga got in my car one day spraying all that Axe body spray, all bathed in it too. I say, nigga, get out my car.
It smells good, huh?
And he like, what? Nigga got in my car spraying Axe body spray. Nigga, you crazy? Wasn't no doggone Axe body spray, boy. That boy went and bought him some cologne though. Even went and bought him a classic, bought him a bottle of cool water. I said, look at it. The word received here is labano, and it means to take, to lay hold of, also to associate oneself as a companion, to seize, to lay hold of, and to take possession of. Yeah, people do still use Old Spice. But if a nigga walk up with some Old Spice or some Brute on, he got to be an old man. Because ain't no young man got no business wearing no Old Spice or no Brute. That's real like gas station.
I used to do Old Spice deodorant.
I mean, that's deodorant.
But I never no spray.
Also to receive what is offered, to not refuse or to reject. So when they tell you that somebody has received the truth, you have accepted this to be smelling correct. Does that mean that this is correct? that this is proper information. And then you taken it and you have rejected it. That man said that there's no sacrifice for you. That's why he stood on that cross and said, what? I will forgive them. They don't know what they do. Because that's a leaning to Leviticus 5. They're sinning out of ignorance. They don't know really what they're doing. See, you don't realize there's a lot of stuff you be like, okay, you know, not to fornicate or this, that, there, and the third. But you didn't really know that you was trespassing against this man. You know what I'm saying? And most brews, even now, still don't really know that they're really running afoul of this man. So he don't hold that against you. That this man, when I say hold it against you, meaning you still have this offer of sacrifice according to Leviticus 5, because Yahushua is that house of sacrifice. Anyone who enters into him and he into them, he is now a house of sacrifices, because all sacrifices are accepted in this house. Let's come back to 2 Chronicles chapter 7. And we kind of talked about that last night, about him being separate from sinners, undefiled, being in the Kadash tabernacle. All sacrifices of Yahushua are accepted. There is no sacrifices of Yahushua that are rejected. The Father accepts all things that man has to offer. Now, he may not accept everyone that he speaks for, but he accepts all sacrifices from. See, him advocating for you and him being a sacrifice for you are two different things. He can advocate for you and the Father can say, no, I don't want it. Amen. You know what I'm saying? The Father said, I don't want it. I don't fool with that guy.
Would that be like Samuel praying for Saul?
Yeah, I don't fool with him. I don't fool with that guy.
Like he stopped.
Yeah.
Like, nah,
you good. I don't know what you crying about him for. You need to go. I don't fool with that nigga. Once Yahuwah departed from him, Yahuwah was done with it. Yeah. But that's what people don't realize, because I seen it came up in my memory. Dude was like, Saul was king for 42 years, thinking Yahuwah was with him, and somebody in the comment told him, the Pope was cool. Not but dude told him, he said, nah, bro, Saul was lying to himself. He knew Yahuwah was gone. And that's a fact.
He did.
That's a fact. Well, you know when Yahuwah done left you, boy.
That was the whole him trying to kill David, because he knew
Yahuwah was gone.
Yeah, he knew he was gone, and he knew David had it.
Yeah. One thing for certain, two things for sure. If Yahuwah was with you and he left, you'll know it. That's why Saul was in such despair.
Yeah. Like you said, the spirit's on them. They got to come in there and play a hard.
Got to play a hard to get an evil spirit up off of you. Every time you call for Yahuwah, he don't answer.
He was sulking. Yeah, well, that's a terrible feeling.
What?
Sure. I know that's a terrible feeling.
No, anxiety is having cares and concerns. Saul didn't have anxiety. Saul knew he had done messed up, and he trying to figure out what he can do to tighten that up. You know what I'm saying? And if you pay attention to his story, Saul's life got progressively worse. But that's what happens when Yahuwah was with you and he slides. You return back to your own vomit. You return to be the dumb, idiotic nigga that you was before he encountered you. Because you didn't encounter him, he encountered you. That's why I say people who have heard it and said, no. See, this is what people look at. If a person can do things that they like to do, have material things that, it's getting better for them. But that's not necessarily better, because most of them niggas be mentally fractured, utterly miserable. Their relationships don't, when I say relationships, just not romantic. Stuff don't go how they want it to go. And them niggas sit off in the cut, quiet, miserable. Do you know what I'm saying? And you miserable because the things that you thought was going to fill the void of Yahuwah and make you feel better that you was running after, they didn't do it. They didn't do it. I mean, shoot, the prayers probably wasn't even being heard before then. We're talking about a precipitous decline mentally and spiritually of an individual. Once you have received and said, once you have confessed and you say, I believe this, not just saying it, because I'm honest with you, most people who done actually heard the gospel believe that it's true. They just didn't want to do it. They didn't want to endure and run the race to its completion because their desire to fulfill their own desires was greater than the discipline that it would take to get to the end. You know what I'm saying? That's why you would see after a separation that they would still try to integrate that man's name into the folly that they trying to introduce in their life at the same time. Then after a while, Yahuwah just drifts away and they stay with the folly.
At the same time,
to your point, if a person believe it and they don't want to do the work, and their life get progressively harder, that just means he never wanted to get it. Versus a nigga like Jonah, like what he heard it, he knew what he had to do, but he was like, I'm not gonna do it.
See, that was different. Jonah had a job to do. Jonah didn't want to do the job to the people he was sending him to. He didn't want to fool with those people. He was like, screw them Ninevites. Them niggas could die.
Why is that different from a command, though, bro?
I mean, it's not as different from a command because this nigga was a laborer. We're talking about somebody. I heard Yahushua's testimony.
Okay,
I say I believe that. Because what I'm saying is even when you, of course, they didn't believe because they didn't endure, they know it's right. Most of all the brews that you seen that say they ain't brews no more, I don't follow this community, they still be trying to mention stuff or talk down. See, if you spending time talking down on the man, you already know he was right. You already know it was true. You know what I'm saying? And the common denominator is most of them lives do not improve. And when I'm talking about improve, I'm not talking about financial improvements. You know what I'm saying? Mentally and spiritually, these people be bankrupt and bereft of all joy and happiness. And most of the people they come around, they destroy. Everything around them just gets destroyed in some type of form. And when they had a home in their room by themselves, them niggas weeping. You know what I'm talking about? And like I said, most of them do what? When they depart from the Lamb, remember, we ain't talking about departing from no congregation. We talking about departing from the Lamb, because at the end of the day, that's what niggas doing. Brews like to make it seem like niggas leaving congregations. Ain't nobody leaving no congregation. You leaving the Lamb. And when you leave him, then what do they try to do? They try to keep his name alive with folly. Meaning the pagan idolatry practices, witchcraft, whatever they got going on, and say he stamped it. Or say that's really what Yahuwah is, and this, that, there, and the third. And as time go on, it just starts doing like this here. And Yahuwah drops away, and they just stay with the folly. The only reason why they were trying to take Yahuwah and equate him to the folly, because they know Yahuwah real. They know it. They experienced it. They seen it in their own life, in whatever fashion he let them see it. Because see, we ain't talking about, you don't see Yahuwah and experience Yahuwah by coming to no Sabbath service. It's something in your life where Yahuwah allows you to experience him.
Every person
experiences, and they know what it is. Yeah. And they know what it is.
It's between you and him.
And it's between you and him. You know he real. You know what I'm talking about? And you tried to plan. Wowzers!
You remember that talk we had. Don't go that way.
That is what you know. They definitely, the left hand knowledge, they try to intertwine them. Like I said, give them a season.
You could say that to a certain extent, but he had a little, Jonah had a little motivation to go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No, he was talking about the parable where the Lord said, you had a son who said, I'll go, but didn't go, and the son who said, I won't go, but went anyway. Jonah said, I wasn't going to go, and then Yahuwah gave him a little motivation. And he said, you're right, I am. He gave him a little Kadash motivation, one-on-one. Come on, what? I need you to hit this corner.
And what came out? Listen.
But yeah, verse 13, 2 Chronicles 7.
Hey, come over here.
Oh, them real tears. She got you good.
Go take a nap, son. Be quiet, huh?
Walk. Relax. Breathe. Yeah, breathe. Oh, come on, cuz. Walk. Second Chronicles 7 and 13. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people which are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will heal from Shamahim, I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open and my ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. That's why I read that John 14, anything you ask in his name, he'll give it. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house that my name may be there forever. My eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. As for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of your kingdom, according as I have covenanted with David your father, saying there shall no man fail to be a ruler in Yasharal. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and commandments, which I have set before you, and go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them, and this house, which I have sanctified for my name. I will cast it out of my sight. I will make it a proverb and a byword among all nations. And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to everyone that passed by it, so that you shall say, why have Yahuwah done this unto this land and unto this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and lay hold on other gods and worship them and serve them. And therefore he has brought all this evil upon them. According to the text, did they bring the vestiges and worship of other gods in the house of Yahuwah?
Yeah.
They defiled his house. So when you bring idols, as he tell you in Ezekiel 14, in your heart, you have defiled his house. When you do, remember what he told you in Mark 7, the things that come out of a man's heart that defiles, you have defiled his house. And that's what that means. Because I wanted to see what most people like, you're defiling your temple, talking about because you're eating snacks, because you're smoking cigarettes, and that's not defiling his house. Because he said it, we read it last night, right? What he said, like, be ye Kadash, because I am. So when you're looking at it, and of course, we're looking at what did he say? He chose and sanctified a house or Mashiach. Everybody that's in Mashiach got to be sanctified, because he that sanctified and he that sanctified are one. You know what I'm talking about? So he's not ashamed to call you his brother. So there has to be a level of sanctification made in that house. That's the part that also that most people don't want to do, is they don't want to be set apart. When you believe, and remember what he said in Acts, that they're sanctified by the faith that is in me. See, most people don't want to be set apart because most people want to go along with everybody else. When you roll with the lamb, you're making a hard stance and you're separating yourself from everyone. And most people don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't want to do that. Especially, and it's very even more difficult for women to do it. Based on what I was telling you last night, they're social creatures. Most women by nature, whether raised that way, they have a desire to please. You can't necessarily please people if you're sanctifying yourself away from people. You know what I'm saying? That's why women need men for moderation and guidance, because they won't. If you that, and that's why you don't. That's why you're just taking a dastardly risk by trying to bring somebody in to make your woman who wasn't raised that way or wasn't already on that, because that's a hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? You come to some men, it's not hard for a man to say, okay, this is the way I'm going. I got to leave all these niggas over here. Oh, they left. You know what I'm talking about? When you present that type of thought process to a woman, they don't understand why you have such an easy time doing that. You seem cold and uncaring. I thought these were your family members and you love them. No, it has nothing to do with that. I have an objective and agenda that makes me have to go over here. If I go over there, then I cannot obtain what I'm seeking over here. So they got to stay over there. We're not social creatures. We're not people pleasers by nature. So that's why men have a hard time understanding why she just can't stop fooling with these people, because women seek to please. So when somebody looks at them with derision and sadness because they're not doing this or doing that, that woman is going to have a knack, because they're servants by nature. She's going to want to please them. So you got to keep them over there, because they'll go back over there because those people are upset. And women know that. That's why they play them there. Y'all know that when y'all was younger. Then you got to be family members. How many of y'all female friends used to try to guilt trip y'all to make you feel bad because you wanted to go over here, but they wanted you to come over there with them? That's what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do little stuff like that, and you be like, well, I'm going to let everybody down if I don't go. You know how many girls probably done gave up their vagina from pressure from their friends and not the man who were trying to hit them? You ain't had sex yet, girl? We all going to go over there together. Now y'all in there getting bust up, one in the back, one upstairs, one in the den, and you all around here defiling. You'll say you ain't even want to lay with the boy. You let your friends convince you to do it. Shoot, that's another reason why a lot of girls gave their boot up to certain dudes, because they didn't want him to be disappointed. Y'all can see that with these little girls right now. They look at y'all with like this here. Did I do good? It's not even nothing that they have to be taught. It's in their nature. You know what I'm saying? So that has to just be For a man, you have to do that in a little girl. You have to just fashion it properly because little girls seek to please. I told you that last night. Y'all, any of you dudes like to entertain? Like really entertain? All of them like to entertain. Probably except for you. Stop lying, nigga. You give it the right situation and circumstance, all of them with it. You like the what? What's what?
Pirate.
You like what? Oh, you like the host?
I don't see that.
Right situation and circumstance, y'all be ready. It's got to be the right situation and circumstance. Because hosting just ain't at your home. You know what I'm saying? When you talking about entertaining, that means you like to do certain things for certain reasons, and women are more inclined to do those things than men. Because y'all will be more inclined to want to have a birthday party for somebody. You're more inclined to want to do those type of things than men are. Ain't no dude looking like, oh, we got to do something for such and such birthday this year. Nigga don't give a damn. I'm around there and pull up on that nigga, man. Unless you nigga got money like that. Niggas who got money like that, they don't care. Grab that nigga, yeah, boy, we finna hit the such and such for you, boy. I got you, boy. I'm going to get that bottle of that 1986 whiskey for you, boy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You do have it. You do feel much more sociable.
Oh.
Nah, but look though, but if I for real though, if I had it, boy, hey boy, who you telling?
Oh, that's rough. That's rough right there. That's rough.
All my niggas got rolling eggs, boy. Just stick around.
And that's right, Trey. And that's right. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that it's inherent in a woman's nature to aim to please. Even all these masculine, modern women, to the right dude, they still want to please him. It's in a woman's nature to be that way. So you have to understand that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say it's not that it's impossible. I'm just saying it's more difficult for a woman to understand that I must consecrate myself over here and leave this over here. Because of the emotional nature of their mind, they don't understand why I can't do both. Men are more pragmatic, more logical in assessments and reasoning. We already know why I can't do both. If I go over here, I'm going to fail. Because the pull over here gonna stop me from going over there. So I'm just gonna have to just cut that all the way off. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you just have to understand. That see, when we talk like this, and you can come back to Psalm 69, individuals thinking of it like you're saying one gender is this or one gender is that. No, we're dealing with reality.
That's just nature.
It's just nature. It's just reality. It's how you are made. You know what I'm saying? We can't be walking around here with this 2021 mindset to act like men and women are the same, and they're not. And what the frailties that a woman has does not make her just this horrible, decrepit creature. It's more so for the man to understand how to deal with her, to lead and guide her properly, and to raise your daughters properly. Because I'm telling you, little girls aim to please. They aim to please father and mother. Little boys aim to seek the validation of their father. You know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation for another day. Psalm 69 and 1. Save me, O Elohim, for the waters are coming unto my soul, which we know that's the people coming up on it. I sink in deep mire where there is no standing. I come into deep waters where the floods overflow me. Where there is no standing is Mo'omad. That is a foothold, a standing ground. He has nowhere where he can literally stand. I don't know if y'all know what deep mire is, but I'll let you know. Look, quicksand, oh, not moray. When you look at mire, this is dregs or mud. Mud. Quicksand and mud, same to me. The word is yavin. Listen what he said. They hate me without a cause, are more than the hairs of my head. They that would destroy me, being my enemies wrongfully, are mighty. Then I restore that which I took not away. Now let's come over here to 1 Samuel 18 for an example of this. Let's pick it up at verse 14 of 1 Samuel 18. Little muffin. No, you're medium muffin. You've already made that declaration. You go over there making messes, medium muffin. I'm finna say because that's not your MO right there. That's a lot of crumbs there. First Samuel 18 and 14. David behaved. Hold on. Make it 13. Matter of fact, make it 11. Say please, Muffin Man. Now you done put your spoon all on the floor. You say he's still finna eat that salt. Come here, Abby. Come here, Abby. Abby, where's my money? 1 Samuel 18 and 11. Saul cast a javelin, for he said, I will smite David, even to the wall with it. David avoided out of his presence twice. Saul was afraid of David because Yahuwah was with him and departed from Saul. Therefore, Saul removed him from him and made him his captain over 1,000. And he went out and came in before the people. If you remember right in verse 8, you know, that's Mushaline, right? Say what it say about Saul? Say Saul brought him in by the thousands. David slain him in by the 10,000. So this is where you see begin that Saul is about to start hating David without a cause. There's nothing that he had done to Saul directly. Verse 13, or verse 14, David behaved himself wisely in all his ways, and Yahuwah was with him. Wherefore, when Saul saw that he behaved himself very wisely, he was afraid of him. All Yasharal and Yehuda loved David because he went out and came in before them. Now let's take a look at something in John chapter 10. Ten. Hey, be quiet, boy. Yeah, you see, your sister said the same thing. She's telling you to be quiet just like I did. You're being rude. Nobody want to hear that crap you talking about, boy. Oh, I'm on the phone with it. John chapter 10. Verse 1 is fine. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that enter in not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. Can we say that Saul tried to climb in some other way? That's definitely why the scribes and Pharisees definitely saw him as a threat. And they definitely said that in John 11, that he would lose his place of nation. Oh, that's Little Muffin in the corner. Oh, what's her violation this time? Oh, no. What did she lie about?
She said she was upstairs sleeping, and I heard somebody was sleeping. And I said, so if Mr. Darius told me that she was really upstairs doing what we were doing, oh, well, I was really playing.
Oh, Muffin, turn around for me, please. So you like to look your mother in the face and lie? I can't see side. Oh, you over there. I'll deal with you. So you like to lie? I asked you a question. Take your thumb out your mouth when I'm talking to you. But clear, so you lying again.
Oh.
Why was you upstairs playing instead of sleeping? Don't worry about it. Turn away from me. I care not to speak with you anymore. What about you? Why you up there lying? Was you lying? Did you tell a lie? So why you was up there playing instead of sleeping? No, don't get bashful now. Y'all wasn't bashful when you was up there being niggas. Never mind. Stay over there where you at. I'll deal with you later. Y'all, and you know what you should do? Every time I catch one of you niggas lying, I should slap you dead in your mouth. Every single solitary time. Now, I ain't gonna give you a good slap, a good pop, because I don't want you to be like, dang, niggas just slap me around. But you're gonna get you a good pop. That pop. You be lying? You be lying? I'm talking about you, Renee. That look tell me, yeah, I lie
All right,
sometimes.
shit, definitely ain't expecting that kind of thing.
You be telling stories. What about you, Leah? You don't know you be lying. You know if you be lying. You tell the truth all the time. You don't know. And I don't know what that means. So when I ask you a question, I would definitely expect an audible response or I'll pop you in your mouth for that. Now, do you be lying? How you don't know if you be lying or not? How do you not know if you tell the truth or you tell an untruth?
Come on.
That don't even make any sense. Muffin Man, you be lying? He said, boy, I barely know how to talk. Christian, you be lying? I don't like, I'm just asking you a question. What about you, King? You be telling stories? I don't know what that means, boy. I'm talking to you. You said no, so you don't tell no lies. I don't know now. How about you? What? See, that's how I know you don't. That boy said, what? Tell no lies. That's how I know he don't. I believed him the first time, but that boy like, who? He said, put some respect on my name. Eugene, you be telling lies? I ain't playing with you, boy. You jumped up, think somebody playing. That's what's wrong with you. Tubby Man, you be telling lies? Huh? You be telling stories? I don't know what that means. Huh? You said yes? Leah, you be telling stories? You don't? If I ask you a question again, you should verbally respond. You be telling stories? You should verbally respond. Do you be telling stories?
Use the word.
Girl, you about 9 years old. You know how to talk. You talk any other time, incessantly at that. Now all of a sudden you want to look sad and crazy. I just asked y'all a question. Y'all mad because y'all getting scrutinized? Oh, what you got an attitude for? Well, they say you do. Why are you looking like that? That's reasonable. That is reasonable. I understand. Continue on. You know why I asked y'all if y'all be lying? Because don't nobody like no lie. That's why you better look at them little girls. Y'all know. Y'all shoot lies out like grapeseed. Spit them everywhere. How many times some of y'all lied and told your parents you were going somewhere else, you was at a nigga house? Look at it. The omission of lying. Telling stories to get your butt rubbed on.
He didn't have any.
The store to get a prophylactic. I'm going to Jimmy house. I'm going over there to Jimmy house. I'll be over there. And guess what your people did? Pulled up. Lying whore.
My dad pulled up. She said he felt like something out of her.
Yeah, because guess what? Because see, you know what men don't be wanting to realize? That their little girl look you dead in the face and tell you a lie. I know you lie. That's the difference. I don't believe that junk. My little girl is a sweet little child. She's a young hot heifer.
Oh.
Who? Young hot heifer. Look at you, like, yeah, I was over there to them niggas' house, sipping on juice. They ain't even came out with it yet. Who it was then? You ain't no snitch. But you're sitting here telling lies. Oh, no, I'm talking about. Wait, oh, so you brought him to your house? You even worse. See how it worked? No, don't do that either. Huh, Sade, you done shot your people that lie? Look at you over there high and quiet. Sure, I'll make sure he don't see me. What about you, Michael? You done shot that lie? I know you done shot it. You told your people you were going to Central Park and you parked your butt right at the nigga house. I bet you did go to a party. It wasn't nobody there but that boy. You see how y'all lying now? No, what I'm saying lying meaning y'all playing loose and fast with the truth. Loose and fast. But he the only nigga there. That ain't no party. I'm gonna leave y'all alone because y'all somewhere else. Y'all ain't right. Y'all a disgrace before the Lord. I just seen how y'all faces lit up with your debauchery. Nasty helpers. She went to dance and she remembered the song. He was in there dirty whining. I went home happy. John chapter 10, man. Verse 1, right? Verse 3. He said, to him the porter opened and the sheep hear his voice. He called his own sheep by name and he lead them out. What did we just read about David? Even while Saul was king, who was the one leading the people in and taking them out? David was. David is representative of the thief and the robber who the sheep didn't hear because the sheep didn't belong to him. Because it said all Yasharal and Yehuda loved David. Let's continue. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger they will not follow, but flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. Oh, that's what happened to Saul. Ain't that what happened to Saul? Let's come on back to 1 Samuel 18. 18 and 17. And Saul said to David, behold, my elder daughter Mirab, her will I give to you to wife. Only be valiant for me and fight Yahuwah's battles. For Saul said, let not my hand be upon him. Let the hand of the Philistines be upon him. David said unto Saul, who am I? What is my life or my father's family in Yasharal that I should be son-in-law to the king? It came to pass at that time when Mirab, Saul's daughter, should be given to David, that she was given to Adriel, the Melithite, to wife. Michal, Saul's daughter, loved David. They told Saul, and the thing pleased him. Saul said, I will give him to her. I will give him her, that she may be a snare to him, that the hand of the Philistines may be against him. Wherefore Saul said to David, you shall this day be my son-in-law of the twain. So let's pause for a second. Saul said, I got to figure out to get this man. I want him dead. Little Mike. What's going on, boy? How long you been back there hiding, little Mike? You all right? Yes. Twain. If you did not know, it is Shanim, which of course you know is two. So if it's telling you two, it's going to mean what? They shall be one flesh. Now, do you know what this lady's name means? It's your name. You don't see your name in here? Yeah, I just said your name.
Michael.
Huh? No. This Michael is who is like Elohim. Yeah, who is like Elohim. M-I-Y. See, you thinking Mikael. It's a different name. See, there's a Michael for ladies, and then there's Mikael for men. I'm being dead serious. This lady's name is pronounced Michael. be Mikael.
I ain't know that part right there. I ain't know that.
Hold on. Because they both mean the same thing. Who is like Elohim, but one's pronounced different. Because that one is Miyka apostrophe El. It's Mikael. But they both mean who is like Elohim. So he's marrying one who is like Elohim. That's who he's marrying. Let's continue. Because you have to remember that. In ancient times, when people named somebody, that name meant something. She was going to be a snare based off of what Saul was going to ask him to do in order to marry her. Not that Michal would be a snare herself. Because she loved David, so she wasn't going to be no trap. She wasn't going to do David no harm.
But you seen that I didn't know he made her marry somebody else while she was still married.
No, what he did is he was going to give him to his daughter, another daughter to David, but then they decided for whatever reason to give her to another dude.
Okay.
So then they came and told him, Michal loved it, and he said, bet, because he was looking for a way to kill it and not be the one to actually do it. That's what, and again, you know what you're seeing here is an Israelite recruiting a Gentile to kill the son of Yehuda. You know what I'm saying? Because the Israelites did not lay hands on Yahusha and kill him. They're not the ones who laid hands on him and killed him. Another group of people did. It's no different than what they did to Samson and Judges. They took him and took him to the Philistines. They did not lay their hands on him. Shalom, Brother Reynolds.
They moved by the law.
Yeah, and also they felt like if they do this, I'll be free of blame. The same thing that David did to what his name is? His name escapes me. Uriah the Hittite. He sent him up there in the front line of battle so I can get him killed, but I'm not the one who did it.
Yeah.
But that's it in the eyesight of Yahuwah, that you just as guilty. You might as well have killed him yourself. Because you devised wicked imaginations to shed innocent blood. Back to 1 Samuel 18. Oh, we never left.
No.
I just was in on the app.
21.
I'm in verse 21. Thank you, sir. Saul said, I will give him her that she may be a snare. We've got that. We're in 22. Saul commanded his servants, saying, commune with David secretly and say, behold, the king have delight in you, and all his servants love you. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. Saul's servant spake these words in the ears of David. David said, seem it to you a light thing to be the king's son-in-law, seeing that I'm a poor man, lightly esteemed. Now look at how he described himself. Now let's look at that. Poor man is a word that you all know. And of course, that's rush, which is someone who is in want, one who is lack, in hunger, destitute. We have to realize something. David did not come from a wealthy family. He was a shepherd. How many shepherds you know got a lot of money? Just like you know it's not a lot of farmers who got a lot of money. That's why a lot of dudes who farm now always want to get other dudes to do it, because why did people stop farming? Because there wasn't any money in it. To be a farmer is the same as being a shepherd. You have to have a love for that vocation. You would have to know that money cannot be your motivating factor for delving into that vocation. Because if you do it for money, you're going to be upset. Of course, you know, lightly esteemed is Kala. This is one who has been dishonored or treated with shame or contempt. We saw David treated with shame and contempt. Just get the baby a titty and feed her. Well, shoot, that's your favorite thing. That's your favorite dance. You like to lean with it, rock with it. I watched you do it. Look at you. You ready? Shoot. She said, but as soon as we get done, she like this here. Right this here, like you got Tourette's. That's what that song made me think of. That junk was a gay version of Tourette's. Shoot, it wasn't wrong either. Where we at, right? Listen what he about to ask him. Oh, that's what I mentioned, right? David was dishonored when he came out for Goliath because his whole family dishonored him. You know what I'm saying? Or what you out here for? And remember what he said? Is there not a cause? Is it not a reason? Just disrespecting the man because they did not hold him in high regard and in honor. That's why David's saying, why would you take a man such as myself who is needy and dishonored to be your son-in-law? You know why he would make that statement? Why would he make this statement? Why would he make an attestation such as this? If you don't know why, let me inform you. Saul is the king. Unlike now with these Disney fairy tales and fantasies, that some regular person is going to turn up and be somebody's queen and be somebody's king. That's not what happened back then. People of nobility picked people from nobility to marry their children. They weren't going to give their daughter to some regular nigga around the corner. You know what I'm talking about? Or these dreams that chicks be having that the king is going to come get me and make me his wife. Only on Disney, baby. That don't happen in real life. Because in real life, boy, kings' wives are selected for them. Because they ain't finna let some random scallywag come under there and mess up their bloodline. Yeah, coming to America is one of the biggest disgraces to the ruler-tip mentality of black men ever created. This cornball, I want a woman to stimulate my mind and my lung. Get your hoe behind up out of here, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? So you basically want a woman who's going to tell you what she ain't going to do. Then bring your funky behind back here for a go-round and you get put out the king's chambers. I'd have kicked that hoe down the stairs. You tell me I'm not going to sleep in my bed. Ho, I'm on the money, ho. I own everything, ho. What? If anybody sleeps somewhere else, but guess what? In real life scenarios, King would have got that hoe up out of there. It wouldn't have been there. You're sleeping on the couch. I'm going to show you a couch, hoe. Get her out of here and get me one of my concubines in the back because I'm through with this hoe. That's what would have happened. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, right? America done messed y'all head up because they make you thinking like, no. That's why that whole conversation that Kevin Samuels be having about dudes with money get women in their feelings and talking the trash that they be talking because he letting you know that if we was in times of nobility and royalty, an overweight mother of multiple children would not have an opportunity to have license with the king. That's not happening. He don't have to do it. You know what I'm saying? And because nobody has ever told you these things, but more importantly, most of us have never been encountered with people who have real wealth. Because I say athletes and niggas like that don't count because everybody know who them niggas is. Most of y'all have been in the presence of a millionaire and you didn't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't somebody famous who name you know. And them niggas can have sex with anybody they want to. But we're talking about royalty, though. You know what I'm trying to tell you, man. Ain't no that fairy tale of a king coming out looking for his regular queen. Only in the movies, baby. Only in the movie. Regardless if you want to believe it or not, they went and found that whole Meghan Markle for that boy. You really think they let that boy go out there and just marry some chick randomly? They went and found Diana for Charles, man. Because guess what? They knew Charles was messing with that ugly woman he was messing with, but it wasn't nowhere in the world they were going to let him drop royal seed in that hoe. You see, once she got past childbearing age, they let him get with her. Dead serious. You see, once she got past childbearing age, and we ain't have to worry about you putting no seed in her, now you can go be with her. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, no, the people don't play no type of games. Let you around here and dilute the bloodline with some commoners. You know what I'm saying? No, they don't play them type of games. And you don't got to take it as disrespect as saying a commoner is just a regular person. Royalty breeds with royalty. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They don't dilute their bloodline. No, straight up and down. They like to say, we don't want no stray dog running around here. See, that's what's wrong with a lot of our people. See, they've been around here mating with stray dogs. As Jap like to say, German shepherds. See, you can't be out here mating with stray dogs. You got to make sure that's a domesticated animal been raised properly, fed right, trained and prepared to be in somebody's home. You know what I'm saying? Can't be around here marrying no stray dog. That don't make no sense. And guess what? You know what a lot of women do? You mess around and you a mutt running on the street and you know this nigga don't know how to train dogs and you want him to come over here and train you. Nah, Bathsheba was a person, they didn't decline the king. If the king asked for some booty, you gave it to him. I mean, that's different. No, I mean, shoot, she was, fine woman. Nigga was like this here. Shoot, you too fine to be with this nigga. That's basically what went down. You too fine to be with him. Come over here for a swim.
He seen her naked.
Yeah, she was a regular person. But he took at a concubine status. You know what I'm saying? They had it, but that wasn't no whirlwind love story. That nigga seen some booty. Let's do this.
I gotta get that.
Yeah, he don't know. German Shepherd is an aggressive black woman of ill repute. You don't want no German Shepherds. Don't marry your son to no German Shepherd. When I say German Shepherd, I mean somebody of stock of German. If they mamas, grandmamas, aunties, all that loud mouths, boisterous, fighting loud, you steer your son in a different direction. Say, no, son, you don't want to breathe with that. That's just like if you got a daughter and you see the family got a bunch of niggas, they weak, they emotional, they up, down, left, right, BA start, son, no. We gonna, son, I can't give my daughter to you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't firm and strong enough to take care of my baby. Because I trained her to serve. And she can't serve no weak man. You're gonna frustrate her confidence in men if I send her over here with your hoe behind. You know what I'm saying? I can't have my daughter I already had a daughter. I don't want her to be a lesbian. Because I'm finna marry her to a woman. Because you're not a man. Like straight up and down. That's what they used to do now. They used to examine their family like this here. Oh, daddy's solid. Shoot, I know that boy gonna be solid. Your daddy's solid. Granddaddy's solid. Uncle's solid. Everybody in the family is solid. You sitting around looking, it's that one thing if you be like, okay, a granddaddy a whole nigga, but that granddaddy's solid and daddy's solid, then you like, okay, that's an anomaly. But if you got a lot of whole niggas in the blood, I'm gonna take my daughter over here. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. But see, arranged marriages are better. But see, y'all looking for love. Did y'all grow up with them fantasies of love? Yeah, you did. All y'all. Looking for somebody whirlwind love to swoop you off your feet. Then guess what you end up finding out when you actually get married? Yeah, man, nigga, it's draws to clean, food to cook, bills to pay, legacies to accomplish. Where's the love? You know what I'm saying? She would just have me watching some TV show. That nigga love watching some doggone country white folks by the water with their family. You know what I'm talking about? White boy like this. Say, I love you, baby. Putting all lights up all in here. I wanted you to bring you out here to dance. Ain't nobody out there but them. Guess what? Hundreds of thousands of women looking at this here thinking to themselves, I need me a man like that. So if you ain't gonna love me like that, then you need to leave me alone. And guess what they at? Alone. Don't nobody love you like that. Yes. No, it's not sad because there was more. I just picked that one because that was in line with what I was talking about. Yes. No, I mean it was sappy. Definitely sappy. No, I'm talking about the show in general. I ain't gotta say it no night. All you need to do is get over there and act right. That nigga watch shows like that repeatedly. That white dude walked in there like this here. He died. This nigga fell off a tree. Let him lay there and die. These people around here running by the nigga falling off a tree. See, that nigga got excited. I fell on my brother. She's sitting there talking to the white folks on the TV screen. She's like, that's right. Okay. I'm like, this here, let this episode in, man. Shoot, Giannis them finna play. We got one TV in there. Need another. She talking about she don't like TVs in the back. I'm just messing with you on the TV in the back. But you do like them doggone corny shows, though. I do. Let me see. Hey, shoot, that's real talk, though, bro. I I'm talking about every time I come in there too, boy, she got a different show on from the day before. I'm like, how do you consume all this content? I'm talking about before you went back to the office. I come in there one day, she watching the show with Al Pacino, coming there another day, it's another show. And she like this, she be riding in the car, watching it. In the car. She said he can't say nothing. I do that too. And he said he had a thing, she be posted up there. It don't be the show watching, it be the commentary. Okay. Go ahead, Charles.
Oh, she got into it. She walking the soapbox office.
Mm-hmm. That's what tripped me out. It be the commentary. Come on back over here, right? 1 Samuel 18. Verse 24. The servants of Saul told him, saying, on this manner spake David. Saul said, thus shall you say to David, the king desired not any dowry, but 100 foreskins of the Philistines to be avenged of the king's enemies. Saul thought to make David fall by the hand of the Philistine. This is what they come in and say, see, them niggas gay. He asked for foreskins. See, they like to touch penis. No, what that was is simply, what is something that I could ask this man to do that I feel like will get him killed? You know what I'm saying? He ain't thinking nobody finna actually come back with a foreskin. Exactly. And he asked for 100. You know what I'm saying? Now it's Orlah, which is foreskin uncircumcised. So basically bring me back 100 uncircumcised men. Let's continue. And when his servants told David these words, it pleased David well to be the king's son-in-law. The days were not expired. It was the fact that David had such a desire to marry this man's daughter and to be a part of his family, he was willing to take that risk. But this is the thing.
Would it been children? Young dudes?
What's that?
The flag force?
Oh, no, they would have been grown men. Pure, unadulterated warriors. These were mighty men. But this is the one thing that Saul neglected to think about. Yahuwah was with David. Wherefore David arose and went, he and his men, and slew the Philistines 200 men. And David brought their foreskins, and they gave them in full tale to the king, that he might be the king's son-in-law. And Saul gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. Saul saw and knew that Yahuwah was with David, and that Michal, Saul's daughter, loved him. At this point, this is no different than the scribe. They know that Yasharal loved Yahusha, and that Yahuwah, his father, was with him. Saul was yet the more afraid of David. Saul became David's enemy continually. The princes of the Philistines went forth, and it came to pass after they went forth that David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, so that his name was much set by. When we look at much set by, that is your car. That means it became valuable, prized. The more he behaved himself wisely, the more valuable the name of David became. The same way that the text tells you that by no other name under heaven can men be saved but by Yahushua HaMashiach. Because he behaved himself more wisely and offering himself and resurrected from the dead, his name became more valuable. That's why I say he humbled himself and became a servant, even unto death and the death of the state. And at the name of Yahushua, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. Let's swing back over here to Psalm 69. We're in verse 4. I'm trying to remember because I want to focus on the verse that I named this video after. I need to see how close we are to it. Let me see how close we are to it from where we're actually at. Amen. Amen indeed, sir. Won't get no dispute out of me. Okay, we're not that far from it. So verse 4. We read verse 4. Let's look at verse 5 of Psalm 69. Oh, you've woken from your slumber? Huh? Did you take a nap?
That is no going.
Huh? You going home? That means she ain't coming back because she don't like black people. She only like Haitians.
Oh, God. Help us. We ain't even sure.
O Elohim, you know my foolishness, my sins are not hid from you. Let not them that wait on you, O Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, be ashamed for my sake. Let not those that seek you be confounded for my sake, O Elohim of Yasharal. Now, you know what this is pointing you to? Remember what it said in Luke 24? How the apostles had these communications that they were sad and they had hoped that it had been him that would redeem Yasharal, and that it has been 3 days since all these things had happened. That's what that's referring to. Not letting these people be ashamed and confounded for my sake. Because he said, you know my foolishness, my sins are not hid from you. Remember, his nakedness was exposed. Not the nakedness that Yahusha had, but the nakedness of whom he was coming to deliver. Let's continue. Let not them that, we already read that, verse 7. Because for your sake I have borne reproach. Shame have covered my face. I am become a stranger unto my brethren and an alien unto my mother's children. For the zeal of your house have eaten me up, and the reproaches of them that reproach you are fallen upon me. And when I wept and chastened my soul with fasting, that was to my reproach. Now, verses 7, 8, 9, I want you to look at them, and I want you to tell me what you derive from verses 7, 8, and 9. And I'll go ahead and throw the caveat in there. You're going to have to try to relate these back to Saul and David and what we've been discussing. Because this came to my mind earlier, and I had meant to tell you that, but I was all, it's like, hey, read this. Because it came to my mind when I was in the shower. It did. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom. Verse what it is? Verse 9 specifically. The video's named after verse 7, but verse 9 specifically, as in relation to Saul and David. What you want, Joe?
With that.
What you want, Joe? Ain't enough room up here for that.
David and Jonathan.
You sleepy?
I see David and Jonathan.
Just woke up.
Oh. Well, you want some comfort because you just woke up. That's what it is, Joe. Let's look at verse 7. He said, for your sake I've borne reproach. Shame has covered my face. Remember, who wrote this song? David wrote this song. So let's look at, for his sake, what is reproach? No, man, not reproach. So reproach is a dishonor. Let's look at the words for it. Reproach is, remember, karpa, reproach, a scorn, a shame, a resting upon the condition of shame and disgrace. We talked about karpa. Shame is kalima, which is also shame, confusion, insult, dishonor, disgrace. All right.
That I became a stranger to my brother and my mother. That's like he just said, how he had. That's what his family had did to David.
Yes. You look like you had an answer. Oh, you did. So let's look at this one here, right? Because Saram put on their flipping tables Goliath, his brothers being jealous that he stood up. Let's look at him bearing the reproach and shame covering his face. First and foremost, we got to return back to Samuel. We need to come back to 1 Samuel. I'll say 13. Yeah, that wasn't a wise decision on your part. 1 Samuel 13 and 7. Leave that alone, Joe. Some of the Abirim went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. He tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Saul said, "Bring hither a burnt offering to me and peace offerings," and he offered the burnt offering. It came to pass that as soon as he made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. Saul went to meet him, that he might salute him. Samuel said, "What have you done?" Saul said, "Because I saw the people were scattered from me." Remember what we just read in John 10? That he saw the what? Said they don't hear the voice of strangers. So this is the element in the text when you see in the Gospels that Yahuwah was never with Saul in that fashion. He was with Saul because Saul was his king. Therefore, he had a portion of his ruach. But Saul was not the one to lead the people. The people did not follow him. The people did not listen to him. Because look what he did. He tried to do something to appease the people to keep them there. That's how you know a lot of these dudes out here with the word trash with it. Because they do stuff to try to keep the people there. If the Lamb was with you, you ain't got to do nothing to keep them there. Because they going to hear his voice. They going to come on. You know what I'm saying? That's why when dudes be like, "Yeah, you got to chase." I ain't who. We don't even chase checks. So we only chase the Lamb. We don't chase checks. We don't chase hoes. Don't chase fame. Don't chase, what they call it, clout. None of that junk. Just chase the Lamb. Why are you talking to me while I'm talking? You're being rude. Now, if I were to pop you in your mouth, you think I'd be wrong. Come on to get out, son.
Okay.
It's going to be more comfortable for you over here, son. I'm in a tight space.
Definitely is trying to appease the people.
He was trying to appease the people. Get the numbers up. Let me read that to you again. He tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed, but Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Saul said, "Bring hither a burnt offering to me and shalom offerings." He offered the burnt offering. It came to pass as soon as he made an end of the offering, the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. Samuel said, "What have you done?" Saul said, "Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that you came not within the days appointed, that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal. I have not made supplication unto Yahuwah. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering." Samuel said to Saul, "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of Yahuwah your Elohim, which he commanded you. For now would Yahuwah have established upon Yasharal your kingdom upon Yasharal forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. Yahuwah have sought a man after his own heart. You have commanded him to be captain over his people, because you have not kept that which Yahuwah commanded you." Look what he told him. See, you say, boy, if you would have followed this instruction, boy, it would be the house of Saul that Yahushua would have came from. He said, "But now your kingdom end," and he gave it to a man after his own heart. Will let you know these are the ones I know the people going to follow, because I'm with it. Because they don't listen to the voice of strangers. They listen to the voice of the shepherd. Let's continue. So this is the first reproach of Saul. You got to understand what we're going through with this is that the reproaches of Saul, or the reproaches of them that reproach you, being Saul, that dishonor fell on him, because David was dishonored until he became king. Do you know what I'm saying? The reproaches of them that reproached you fell on me because Saul reproached Yahuwah. That reproach that Saul had fell on David. And David had to bear it. Because we already know what Yahushua doing that. That's a given.
That's what made me think about Jonathan. Because the reproaches of his father, Jonathan had to carry because he was faithful.
He did, because he got down with the lamb.
Right. That's how I was.
Yeah, he got down with the lamb.
Right, the same thing.
He got down with the lamb. Guess what? Jonathan broke Saul's oaths and all that. He ain't fool with his daddy, because he know his daddy was a fool. But you know why? You know why Jonathan ain't fool with his daddy? Because Jonathan fooled with Yahuwah. And if Yahuwah don't fool with my daddy, I don't fool with him either. Right. I'm going to give him his proper respect, because he my daddy, but I don't fool with that nigga.
He was willing to be reproached with David.
As you supposed to be really, you know what that is? Go suffer with him outside the gate, bearing the reproach. That's what Jonathan did.
That's what I was.
Yeah, that's what Jonathan did. I just want to, because we know what the tribulations and suffering that Yahushua did, but I wanted you to see the parallel was there. It has been there. Are you okay? You look like somebody took something from you. Are you okay? I'm talking to you, Pop. Are you okay? You need to speak. Well, why are you looking so sad and angry and disturbed? You're not? Are you tired? Are you hungry? You just want to play, don't you? Because as soon as it's over with, you're going to be running around here screaming and hollering with all your little friends in here. That's what you want to do. I've known you your whole life. Let's look at the other reproach. 1 Samuel 15. and 1. Samuel said unto Saul, Yahuwah sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Yasharal. Now therefore hearken you unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah. Now you got to remember, this man's kingdom already been took from him 2 chapters ago. He was already done for. That's what a lot of them realize. 1 Samuel 15, the matter with the Amalekites ain't what got him finished. He was finished before the end. He already said he've already found him a man after his own heart to be the leader and ruler over his people. But he said, let me see if this nigga stupid again. But you know why? Because I need 2 witnesses of stupidity before I kill him. He said, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Yasharal, how he laid in wait for him in the way when he came up from Mizraim. Now go and smite Amalek, utterly destroy all that he have, spare them not, slay both man, woman, infant, suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. Saul gathered the people together, 200,000 footmen, 10,000 men of Yehuda. Saul came into the city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. Saul unto the Kenites, go and depart and get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. You show kindness to all the sons of Yasharal when they came out of Mizraim. So the Kenites departed from the Amalekites. Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah unto till you come to Shur that is over against Egypt. He took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag the best of the sheep, oxen, fatlings, lambs, all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, they destroyed utterly. That show you what type of mind he got. The stuff I don't want, I'll tear it up. The stuff I like, I'm gonna keep it. What you think Yahuwah gonna do with somebody like that? That's an unjust weight and balance. He can't do nothing with that. Then came the word of Yahuwah unto Samuel, it repent me that I set Saul to be king. He's turned back from following me and have not performed my commandments, and it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night. Now, you know, Samuel crying because he already know, boy, that boy finna die. That boy stupid, and he finna die. That's why when you see, sometimes you see people like, I get it. If you was somebody you were dealing with, they was in the word and they departed, and you be sad for a season. It is not unnatural. It ain't no, I don't care about that nigga. No, you ain't got to do all that. That's just unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? But just like when he came around here like this, here, check this out, man. You still mourning for this nigga seeing I rejected him? Shoot, I gave you time. I understand. Yahuwah is not unreasonable. He said, I understand. That was your man. You fooled with him. But I'm finna kill this nigga. I go anoint David and hand him a business mouth, man. Time fool to this stupid nigga. This nigga's dumb.
Like I said, at least they're honest, man. Say repented, man. Yeah. I got somebody else.
Now, the becoming a stranger to his brethren and the alien to my mother's children is the apostles fleeing from him. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have that going on with David.
That's what I was gonna ask.
You know what I'm saying? Of anybody fleeing from him in this time period, because everybody didn't start fleeing from him till after he became king.
That's it. You thought you were about what you doing.
But the 1 Samuel 18 is the beginning of where you seeing that the reproaches of them that reproached him fell on, because Saul hated David so much that he was sending him into a battle, hoping that he would be killed, thinking there's no way that he could kill these men and bring me back 100 foreskins.
But that's funny that he did that. David did the same thing.
He did. It's probably where he got the idea from. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Well, I ain't gonna say where he got the idea from. Their warriors and their leaders of armies. So the best way as a leader of an army, if you want a man killed, is to send him into a battle that you feel like he can't win. The U.S. military has done this numerous times by sending men on missions that they knew that they were not going to come back from, or they hoped that they wouldn't come back from. Some of you have watched several movies where they detailed such things of a fictional basis. Because most of the time, when them white folks of the United States military send you to a battle, you're not coming back. This ain't gonna be no movie where one dude and you make it back, you niggas dying. Guess what? The whole Vietnam War was a mission where none of you niggas was supposed to come back. You know what I'm saying? And they succeeded. That second Gulf War, mission, you ain't supposed to come back. We sent you niggas over here on the house to die. We hope it, and the reason why I say that because they sent them ill prepared. They didn't get, if the United States military is determined to win the armed interaction, they are going to win it. Only way they're not going to win it is Yahuwah intervenes.
You see that in the text too. The battles that they engaged in, especially when they were feeling like they weren't going to win. That's why you did that, because they knew they were going to lose.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They need that backup.
That's what made you so good. Like,
Absolutely.
y'all niggas knew y'all was supposed to lose.
Well, but we'll stop right here for now. We revisit because Psalm 69 is long. So, hallelujah for Yahushua and the word. I bless y'all in the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I appreciate y'all. But of course, we took some of these things to deal with the house.
That's why he had to come show his power.
But if you didn't see today, you see there's a lot of parallels of David being the lamb and him taking the reproaches and the sufferings that other people had to, that David that Saul brought forth. This side part.
I puffed them up at the same time. Some of them got puffed up on that. Some people
You have to wait for it. Are you all right? So you have to wait. So when you see that, and then of course that he was the one who brought the people in and led them out, and that he was the one that people listened to, and the people that listened to Saul. And there's many more parallels that we're gonna go over because it's a long story anyway. But again, blessings out the house, Elohim in the name of Yahushua. We'll pick it up on Wednesday and keep it rolling. And until that time, yes, sir. What may I do for you?
I was saying that.